after reports claim that one of the pilots of an Air India flight from Phuket to Delhi failed a post-flight dope test following a serious turbulence incident. Air India, however, has said that the results of the screening have not been shared with the airline. Days after Air India flight AI-2379 experienced severe turbulence and suddenly lost around 300 feet in altitude, leaving several passengers and crew members injured. And the incident took place on August 4 when the Airbus A320 operating flight AI-2379 from Phuket to New Delhi encountered severe turbulence during its journey. The aircraft was carrying around 137 passengers and 8 crew members at the time, and according to the officials, the turbulence lasted for around 4 to 5 minutes, during which the aircraft experienced a sudden loss of approximately 300 feet in altitude, and the sudden drop caused panic inside the cabin. Passengers were reportedly thrown from their seats, with some hitting the cabin ceiling, while several cabin crew members were also injured as they tried to assist passengers. And despite the difficult situation, the crew continued to help all those on board during the remainder of the flight, which continued for around another hour before the aircraft landed safely at Delhi airport. Notably, at least 17 people, including 13 passengers and 4 cabin crew members, were admitted to hospital following the incident. Air India later said that all the 13 passengers who had been hospitalized were discharged, and Civil Aviation Minister K. Mohan Naidu also said that most of the injured passengers were treated and released within hours of the aircraft landing. Some members of the cabin crew reportedly suffered injuries to their neck, spine and tailbone areas and were advised to take rest by doctors. The minister praised the crew members for continuing to assist passengers despite being injured themselves. Visuals from Delhi airport after the flight landed showed ambulances and medical teams outside the terminal. Several passengers were seen being assisted in wheelchairs, while some appeared with bandages as they were taken for medical evaluation. And the latest controversy centers on the post-flight drug screening conducted on the 2 pilots. Reports have claimed that one of the pilots tested positive for psychoactive substances, effectively indicating a failed dope test. The same reports claim that both the pilots were de-rostered, meaning that they were removed from flying duties pending completion of the investigation. However, Air India has not confirmed the reported positive test, and the airline said that it was aware that a post-flight screening had been conducted on the pilots in accordance with applicable protocols. But the results had not been shared with the Air India as of now, and the airline therefore said that it was not in a position to comment on any kind of findings. Air India also stressed that it regularly conducts drug testing on its crew members in compliance with civil aviation regulations, and according to the airline, all these tests are carried out independently of any specific flight or operational incident. The airline has said that it will continue to cooperate with the relevant authorities as the investigation progresses, and the Directorate General of Civil Aviation, also known as DGCA, is investigating the turbulence incident. A senior DGCA official had earlier said that the pilot in command reported a severe injury to one cabin crew member, another crew injury and minor injuries to some passengers following the sudden loss of altitude. The Civil Aviation Ministry is also monitoring the matter closely, as Civil Aviation Minister K. Mohan Naidu said that the incident was being handled with urgency and care. He also highlighted the efforts of the crew, who continued providing assistance to passengers despite suffering injuries during the turbulence. Meanwhile, a passenger travelling with a family of 6 has approached the DGCA through the Air Seva portal, describing the experience as extremely frightening. And according to the complaint, the aircraft suddenly dropped around 300 feet at approximately 9:30 in the morning, causing passengers to be thrown towards the cabin ceiling. The passenger alleged that his 62-year-old mother-in-law, Renu, suffered a rib injury and a suspected spinal injury, while his 64-year-old father-in-law, Mukul, suffered bruises. The complaint also raised questions about the medical assistance provided after the aircraft landed in Delhi. And the passenger has requested an investigation into several aspects of the incident, including the severe turbulence, the decision to continue the flight rather than divert it, the conduct of the crew, and the medical response after landing. He has also sought relevant records connected with the flight and the incident. And another passenger, Shilpi Jain, described the frightening experience in a social media video. She said that several passengers and cabin crew members were injured and claimed that people were thrown around inside the aircraft when the sudden drop occurred. Notably, Air India has said that it is aware of the passengers' concerns and is reviewing the matter internally, and the airline maintained that the aircraft landed safely in New Delhi and that affected passengers and crew members received necessary medical assistance and support. It reiterated that passenger safety and well-being remains its highest priority, and the reported failed DOP test has now added another serious dimension to the investigation. However, the result has not been officially confirmed, which maintains that the screening results have not been shared with the airline. Well, the DGCA investigation will therefore be important in establishing what caused the sudden 300-foot altitude loss, whether there were any operational or regulatory lapses, and whether further action is required against anyone involved. And for now, investigators are examining the circumstances surrounding flight AI 2379, while aviation authorities are expected to assess the turbulence, the injuries suffered by passengers and crew members, the pilot's post-flight screening and the overall safety procedures followed before, during and after the incident, and further details are expected as the investigation progresses. That's all for now. Stay tuned to the Savera for more updates. Do like, comment and subscribe to the channel.